What if I told you the calmest couple on Love and Hip Hop just detonated the biggest scandal of the season, and it all started with a late-night phone call, a smirking ex, and a clip so messy it left even the producers shook? Y'all, grab your popcorn, because this ain't your average reunion drama. This is full-on relationship warfare with receipts, rumors, and reality TV cameras rolling at full speed. Did Mendeecees really call Erica Mena in the middle of the night just to clear the air? Or was something more steamy going on behind the scenes? And why is Yandy out here confronting her man on national television while Erica sits back, like she just won the Petty Olympics? Is this revenge, manipulation, or just another scripted plotline gone way too real? Because from the look on Yandy's face in that leaked trailer, she ain't acting. And let's not even talk about those anonymous sources saying this scandal goes way deeper than just one phone call. Buckle up, because we're about to dive headfirst into the messiest love triangle ATL's ever seen, and trust me, this one ain't got a happy ending. Keep watching, because it's about to get scandalous. So boom, just when Love and Hip Hop Atlanta fans thought the drama had finally simmered down, Yandy Smith-Harris found herself smack in the middle of a scandal that's got social media working overtime. And let's be clear, this isn't your average girl. No, this is marriage-shaking, producer-pleasing, ratings-skyrocketing mess that's got people picking sides before the full episode even aired. It all started with one leaked trailer, just 30 seconds of footage, but enough to make the entire internet forget whatever else they were doing. Erica Mena, hair laid, face beat, voice dripping with petty calm, looked straight into the camera and said, "Everyone's acting like Mendeecees didn't call me late at night, but I got receipts." Pause, rewind, replay. Social media exploded. Within minutes, fans flooded the comments, reposting the clip with their own commentary, tagging Yandy, demanding answers, and calling out Mendeecees for what they swore was a shady late-night rendezvous over the phone. But the real chaos didn't begin online. It started at home, because while the world was busy reacting, Yandy was seeing that clip for the first time, sitting on her couch in a silk robe, probably just trying to enjoy a glass of wine after a long day of business meetings and baby bedtime routines. She wasn't ready. No one could be. Her eyes locked on the screen, heart thudding in her chest as Erica's voice played again like an echo she couldn't shut off, and just like that, all the old memories came flooding back. The betrayal rumors, the late-night arguments, the trust issues they swore were in the past. But Erica wasn't done. In the full clip, she leans back and adds, "And don't worry, I got screenshots if anyone's confused." Screenshots? Of what? Exactly. Nobody knew. But the damage was done. Now Yandy wasn't just being dragged into drama, she was being blindsided. In real time, in front of millions of viewers. She sat frozen, phone in hand, scrolling through the tsunami of fan comments. Some people were defending her. Others were already drafting think pieces about Mendeecees' history of emotional cheating, and a few just wanted more tea. That's when the front door opened, and in walked Mendeecees himself, clueless, humming, holding his book manuscript like he was walking into peace and quiet. Big mistake. Yandy didn't say a word at first. She just turned her phone toward him and hit play. The trailer ran again, and this time, Mendeecees' smile melted like butter in the microwave. "You saw it," he said, with that slow exhale men do when they know they're in trouble but still trying to pretend they're not. "You tell me," she fired back. That's when things got tense. He tried to keep it light, brushing it off like Erica was just being extra, saying, "She's just trying to stay relevant. Don't feed into it." But Yandy wasn't buying it. "So you're saying she's lying? Or you're admitting you called her?" His face said it all. He poured himself a glass of water, like hydration could help him escape this interrogation. "I didn't do anything wrong," he finally muttered. "She's using my name to get attention. That's it." But Yandy's tone shifted, softer, but sharper. "Why now, Mendeecees? Why is she saying this now? After all this time? And why didn't you tell me you even spoke to her?" That question hit hard. Mendeecees paused, eyes darting to the ceiling like it held the answers. Then, finally, he confessed. "She called me after her last appearance on the show. She was going through some stuff. Emotionally, I picked up. We talked, but that's it." Yandy just stared at him, the silence thick as cement. "Why didn't you tell me?" she asked again. "Because I knew this would happen," he replied. "Because I knew how it would look. I thought it would just go away. But things like that never just go away, not when you're married to a woman who's had to defend your name in the tabloids before." Not when the cameras are rolling and the producers are licking their lips waiting for the next juicy conflict. 2 milk for ratings. Yandy grabbed her keys and headed for the door. "I need air," she said, not waiting for his reply. Outside, the Atlanta humidity clung to her skin, but it couldn't compete with the fire burning in her chest. She paced the driveway, replaying every conversation, every quiet moment with her husband over the past few weeks. Had there been signs? Any shift in his energy? Had he laughed a little too hard at something on his phone? Had he been too quick to silence a call? The doubt settled in fast and hard, and when your life is already broadcast to the world, those doubts echo louder. She called Kendra, her longtime friend, the one person who could tell her she wasn't crazy without sugarcoating it. Within the hour, they were sitting at a corner booth in an off-the-grid cafe Kendra swore was paparazzi-proof. Yandy slid her phone across the table and hit play. Kendra didn't say a word while it ran. When it ended, she just raised an eyebrow. "That's rough," she said, finally. "People are already believing it," Yandy said, voice cracking. "They think I'm some blind wife sitting at home while my man's out here calling exes." "What do you want to do?" Kendra asked. Yandy didn't blink. "I want the truth. I want to talk to her. I want to know why she's doing this now." Kendra hesitated. "You sure?" Erica's slick. She knows how to twist things. Yandy nodded. "I don't care. This is my marriage. I'm not letting her play with it for clout." And just as she said that, her phone buzzed again. Another fan page. Another post. The caption read, "Yandy's marriage on thin ice. Erica spills more tea." That was the moment she knew it wasn't going away. She texted Mendeecees, "We need to talk." He replied with a single question mark. Later that night, she walked back into their house with her head high but her chest tight. Mendeecees was already standing by the door, clearly waiting. "Let me explain," he said before she even dropped her purse. First, she interrupted, "I need to know one thing. Did you ever call her late at night?" His eyes darkened. "Yes, once. After her last show, she sounded upset. I answered. We talked. That's it." She clenched her jaw. "Why didn't you just say that?" "Because I thought it was over. I thought she'd leave it alone." "Well, she didn't," Yandy snapped. "And now I'm out here looking like a fool." He rubbed his forehead, frustration and guilt dancing across his face. "I should have told you." "You're right." She shook her head. "This isn't about being right. It's about respect. I'm out here defending you while she's out here throwing shade on national TV." The tension was electric, almost too much to breathe through. Then she paused. "We need to take control of this before the show turns it into something it's not." Mendeecees looked at her, surprised. "What do you mean?" "I mean we face it head-on, camera, with her. Get the truth out." He blinked. "You sure?" "I'm done playing defense," she said. "Let's end this story before it ends us." The sun hadn't even fully risen when Yandy and Mendeecees pulled into the studio lot, both silently bracing themselves for what could be the most uncomfortable confrontation of their reality TV lives. The tension between them was almost invisible. From the outside camera crews setting up, producers buzzing, sound techs checking mics, but inside that SUV, it was thick. Yandy stared straight ahead, her hands folded tightly in her lap, while Mendeecees rubbed his palms together like he was about to walk into court, not just a set. They were about to face Erica Mena, the woman who, with one cryptic comment and a smirk, had thrown a grenade into their relationship and walked away without flinching. The producers tried to frame it like a healing moment, an open conversation, but everyone knew what this was really about: ratings drama and blood on the floor. Erica was already in the studio, perched elegantly in one of the plush interview chairs, hair flawless, nails long and sharp enough to slice through egos. She looked calm, even welcoming, as if she hadn't just lit the internet on fire and turned Yandy's world upside down. The moment Yandy and Mendeecees walked in, Erica stood, offering a faint smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. Yandy didn't return it. Mendeecees barely nodded. The crew gave them a countdown, cameras rolling, and then there was only the sound of shallow breathing and the buzz of anticipation in the air. Erica spoke first, surprisingly soft. "I want to start by saying I never meant to cause harm. I really didn't." Yandy raised an eyebrow, unconvinced. "Then why do you say it the way you did? On camera, knowing how it would land?" Erica sighed, looking down for a beat before meeting Yandy's eyes again. "Because the producers asked for something impactful. They wanted a moment. I gave them a moment." Mendeecees cut in, voice low. So it was scripted. Erica shook her head. Not scripted. Prompted. I didn't make anything up, but I played it up. That's what they wanted. Yandy leaned forward, voice tight. So you're saying there's truth in it? Erica hesitated. There was one conversation. A while ago, last year, you were out of town. We talked, but it was nothing. We didn't flirt. We didn't make plans. We just talked. Mendeecees looked at the floor, jaw tight. That was the call, he said, confirming it with a nod. I remember. You sounded upset. I picked up, and you didn't think I should know, Yandy snapped. He looked at her, regret heavy in his eyes. It felt small. Insignificant. I didn't want to make a thing out of nothing. Erica sighed again, glancing toward the producers. They took that little conversation and turned it into a whole thing. They told me if I brought it up again, it could be a powerful storyline. I should have said no, but I didn't. Yandy sat back, absorbing every word like a punch. She looked at Erica, scanning her for signs of sincerity, then at Mendeecees, whose posture screamed guilt but not deceit. Do you understand? Yandy said slowly, that when you speak on my marriage like that, it's not just ratings. It's my life, my kids, my home. Erica nodded, for once looking genuinely remorseful. I do now. I was thinking like a cast member, not like a person. I messed up. There was a long silence. Then Mendeecees reached over and gently took Yandy's hand. She didn't pull away. It wasn't forgiveness, it was solidarity. A signal to the cameras, to Erica, and maybe even to themselves, that they were still standing. Still together. When the scene wrapped, producers swarmed them, whispering about how real the energy had been, how this was going to be a pivotal episode, how audiences would eat it up. Yandy didn't even respond. She walked straight out, Mendeecees close, behind her, the quiet between them heavy but not cold. Outside the studio, flashbulbs started popping. Paparazzi had already been tipped off. One yelled out, Yandy, are you divorcing him? Another shouted. Erica said, more is to comment. Yandy ignored them, sliding into the car with practiced grace. But once inside, she finally let out the breath she'd been holding for hours. Mendeecees rested his head back against the seat, looking up at the roof like he could pray his way out of this season. That could have gone worse, he said. Or better, she replied sharply. But there was no heat in it. Just exhaustion. Back at home, the kids were asleep, and for once, the house was silent. Yandy walked straight to the kitchen and poured herself a glass of wine. The kind of wine you drink not to celebrate but to regroup. Mendeecees stood by the doorway, watching her. Do you want me to do a live? Address it. She shook her head. No, we need something calmer. Clearer. We need to own the story without feeding the circus. The next day, they recorded a joint video. No fancy lights. No producers. No makeup. Just them on the couch. Yandy spoke first. You've seen the clip. And you probably have questions. So do we. But here's what we know. There was a call. There was a conversation, but there was no affair. And we're standing here together because we've talked it out. Mendeecees added, we don't run from the hard conversations. We have them. And we've decided not to let someone else define our relationship. They posted it to every platform they had, bracing for impact. Within minutes, comments poured in. Some praised their transparency. Others called it damage control. A few even accused them of using the drama for their own narrative, flipping the script to look like victims. But one comment stood out to Yandy from a longtime fan who wrote, that's what real love looks like. You can't fake that kind of unity. It made her smile briefly. Later that evening, Rashida called, sis, that video, powerful. But you know it ain't over, right? Yandy sighed. It never is. Rashida hesitated. Word is, Jessica's planning a retreat next week. She wants you there. Thinks it'll help clear the air with the rest of the girls. Yandy rubbed her temples. The thought of another on-camera gathering, another round of subtle jabs and producer-pushed tension, made her stomach turn. I'm tired, Rashida. This whole week has been a war zone. I get it, Rashida said. But you've never been the type to let someone else write your ending. Come, show them who you are. That night, after tucking the kids into bed, Yandy sat outside on the patio, glass in hand, watching the stars blur through the trees. Mendeecees joined her a few minutes later. If we go to that retreat, he said quietly, are we ready for whatever happens? Yandy didn't answer right away. Then she turned to him. I don't know if we're ready, but I know we're together. That has to count for something. He nodded, wrapping an arm around her shoulder. And for a moment, just a moment, the world quieted. But even in the stillness, Yandy knew this was only the eye of the storm. The morning of Jessica's retreat came cloaked in a deceptive calm, the kind of overcast sky that made everything feel slower. Quieter until you realized it was just the silence before something loud. Yandy stared at herself in the mirror. For a long time before leaving the house, adjusting the soft, flowy white dress she'd picked to send one very specific message, I am peace. But peace, in the world of love and hip-hop Atlanta, was just the look. The real currency was composure under fire, and Yandy knew she'd need plenty of it today. Mendeecees offered a soft smile and a kiss to the forehead before they stepped out, his presence more like armor than a +1. The ride to the estate was quiet, except for a few notifications pinging in from social media. Clips from their joint video had already made it to fan pages, edited into dramatic montages with tearful, piano music. One fan had commented, "If this is acting, give them an Emmy." While another wrote, "They're just trying to spin it before the retreat blows everything up." That last one lingered in Yandy's head as the car pulled up to the gated property. Jessica's retreat was exactly what you'd expect from a reality star trying to rebrand herself as a healer. There were candles, yoga mats, crystal bowls, herbal teas, and too many producers pretending they were just there to observe. Castmates milled around in pastel loungewear, eyes sharp even when their smiles were soft. Spice gave a polite nod, Bambi avoided eye contact. Erica, standing by a lavender tent, looked like she hadn't slept, her energy subdued, lips pursed like she was bracing for impact. The air crackled when Jessica welcomed the group with her arms wide and a speech about collective healing. Nobody was fooled. This wasn't a retreat, it was a stage, and everyone knew it. The first activity was a guided meditation that none of them could actually concentrate on. The second was a group circle where each woman was asked to speak a truth. When it was Erica's turn, she hesitated. Then, with cameras rolling, she finally looked directly at Yandy. "I just want to say that I regret how things played out. Not because of what was said, but how it was said. I let the show control the story. And that hurt you. I see that now." Yandy's jaw tightened, but she didn't look away. "It's not just the show. It's your choice to be part of that narrative. You knew my family was at stake, and you still said it." Erica nodded, accepting it. "You're right. I did, and I'm sorry." For a second, it seemed like maybe this would be the turning point. Maybe this time, someone would own their part without conditions, but of course, this was love and hip-hop. Moments later, another castmate named in the lead-up, but very much ready to insert herself, brought fresh fuel to the fire. It's funny how everyone's focusing on one call, when word on the street is there were more. More than one late-night conversation. And not just with Erica. All heads snapped toward Yandy. She didn't blink, but her grip on her wine glass tightened. Mendeecees, sitting just out of frame but very much in earshot, stood slowly. "Nah, we're not doing that." The castmate smirked. "Why not? We're being real, right?" The retreat spiraled. Cameras zoomed. Jessica tried to mediate, but her spa-like tone was swallowed by the chaos. Yandy stood, straightened her dress, and said clearly, "If anybody has receipts, bring them. Otherwise, stop letting producers turn whispers into facts." Silence. No one stepped forward. No screenshots. No recordings. Just vibes and vague threats. Still, the damage had been done. Online, the scene was being clipped and uploaded before the episode even aired. Fans speculated wildly about the new accusation. Yandy's mentions flooded. She didn't respond, but she saw it all. Erica, to her credit, pulled her aside after the cameras took a break. "I didn't know that was coming. I swear." Yandy looked at her, "But it did, and it always does. This is the game we're in." Erica sighed, "I'm tired of it." Yandy smiled, bitterly. "We all are. But the game's never tired of us." That night, back at home, Mendeecees was quiet. He scrolled through headlines. Yandy ambushed at Jessica's retreat. New cheating allegations surface. Erica Mena breakstone, then tossed his phone aside. "This never ends," he muttered. Yandy joined him on the couch, resting her head on his shoulder. "Maybe it's not supposed to. Maybe we just keep showing up and telling our truth every time they twist it." He turned to her. "You still trust me?" She paused. "Yes, but I don't trust this show." And that was the most honest thing either of them had said all day. The following morning, the internet was ablaze. A behind-the-scenes clip had leaked Erica in tears, venting to a producer that she felt used, manipulated, and thrown under the bus. Some fans softened toward her. Others rolled their eyes. But the narrative was shifting again. Jessica went live on Instagram, vaguely addressing the retreat backlash and promising a follow-up special to explore the deeper truths behind the drama. Yandy rolled her eyes so hard she almost saw last season. Deeper truths. Girl, this ain't a documentary. But the comments section loved it. One fan wrote, "This show is my Roman Empire," while another joked, "Yandy needs to drop a diss track at this point." Meanwhile, Mendeecees got a call from his publisher. His book sales had doubled overnight. Drama sells. Whether you like it or not, he didn't celebrate. He looked at Yandy, who was quietly deleting hundreds of tagged posts from her story. She was tired, but she was also focused. That afternoon, they filmed one last video, not for damage control. Not for ratings, but because they needed to reclaim the story again. Yandy looked straight into the camera. "We know you've seen the clips, the retreat, the rumors, and while we can't stop people from talking, we can remind you who we are. We're human. We argue. We stumble. But we don't lie to each other. And we don't let drama break what we've built." Mendeecees nodded beside her. "Say what you want, but this is real. This is us." They didn't check the comments this time. They just posted it and shut the app. Outside, the wind had picked up again, trees swaying hard enough to rattle the windows. Yandy stood by the glass, watching the storm settle in. Mendeecees joined her, hands in his pockets, quiet. "What do you think's next?" he asked. She didn't answer right away. Then, softly, "More mess. More noise, but we'll be all right. And maybe, just maybe," she was starting to believe it, "so now that the smoke is clearing, at least for the moment, we've got one question for y'all. Was this the truth finally being aired out? Or just another round of reality TV smoke and mirrors?" Because let's be honest, in the world of love and hip-hop, what you see is never all that you get. Did Erica genuinely feel remorse? Or was she just scrambling to save face after that trailer backlash? And Mendeecees, was that apology pure honesty, or just strategic damage control? You decide. One thing's for sure, Yandy didn't come to play. She stood tall, she faced the chaos, and whether you love her or hate her, you felt her pain. But let's not pretend this is the end. If we've learned anything from watching these storylines twist, spiral, and detonates, that peace is temporary. And the drama is just waiting for its cue to step back in. So here's the deal. If you're living for the tea, if you're the type to pause every clip, zoom in on every text message, and decode every shady look, then you need to hit that like button right now. Smash subscribe so you don't miss the next scandal, and tap that bell icon like it owes you answers. Because we've got more inside scoops, more leaked convos, and more fire exposes than Mona Scott's editing team can keep up with. Stay locked in, because the real show, oh baby, it's just getting started. Drop your thoughts below, and let's talk about who's really playing who.